Hello and welcome everyone to our next session for today with Dr. Antal Kelle, artist, also known as ArtFormer, and Dr. Kristóf Fenyvesi, a STEAM education researcher from the Finnish Institute for Educational Research. Hungarian artist Antal Kelle's work at the interface of visual art, design, science, and games. The term he has coined for this activity, ArtFormer, is now his artist alias. He studied art and engineering between 1972 and 1983 in Hungary and the Bauhaus Dessau. He has qualifications in engineering, art, and design, and is a doctor of liberal arts and member of the Hungarian Academy of Science and Art. Antal has been engaged in artistic creation and design since the mid-1980s, especially in moving kinetic sculpture. He communicates his work and the original ideas underlying it through lectures, presentations, exhibitions, and university courses globally. Today, he will present some of his iconic works and raise the issue of artificial emotions. Our next speaker today is Dr. Kristóf Fenyvesi. He is a multidisciplinary learning and contemporary cultural studies professor at the Finnish Institute for Educational Research. In 2008, he launched experience workshop Global STEAM Network. He is an author and a very active organizer and contributor of international scientific events, education programs, exhibitions, STEAM workshops, and festivals. He has curated several of Antal's international exhibitions. So please welcome Antal and Kristóf.
Hello, my friend. I am here in Ahmedabad because 15 years ago I had a fellowship in NID.
Sorry, Antal, but we can't hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine now.
Yes? You can hear me. Okay. Hello, my friend. I am here in Ahmedabad because 15 years ago I was invited in Charles E. Fellowship in NID, and I had many friends there. First of all, Professor Sudarshan Khanna and his daughter Surabi, and I met there also with Thurs. He was also a member of this fellowship. And other professor, she made also a presentation here, Gayatri Menon. Okay, I will please my video. Please start my video. The title is What Does ArtFormer Mean? I will show for you during this video. My English is not very good, but I have with this video can tell you what about I would like. First of all, a short film. It's a libretto. This libretto can give an atmosphere with my about my work. It's like a metropolis with different mathematical solids like prism, pyramid, cone, cylinder, or sphere. This sculpture has many different parts on it, and these parts we can twist, turn, and put in different positions. We can enjoy these solids who are between the cool geometrical forms and between organic natural forms. And at the end here the sphere, and it's my cone on the top named helix. What about I will tell more. And here the sphere, and at the end in this animation, a special triangle, what was earlier a cylinder, a column. Helix, my iconic work, what are in different collection from London to New York, and I had an exhibition in New York what was curated by Kristóf, and on the wall hanged the picture photos from my daughter Emesha. So in this exhibition were many sculpture from made from wooden, and you can see they had different positions. They have contact with each other, and it was not only simple exhibition. After it, we kept many workshops, and these workshops also the audience could move and play with these figures, these forms, and try to understand how it works, these sculptures. It's my homepage, and you can see here the helix in different kind. You can download a program and print it for paper and cut it scissor or laser and put glue in the middle, a magnet as a join point. You can download also some program for 3D printing, but you can enjoy also helix in real in animation, but not a simple it was from my friend Kasha made with two helix from wooden. You can see how fine the move possibility. But in my homepage, you can find also a virtual form I made with a GeoGebra team, help me Zoltán Kovács and Professor Szilasi. You can play, shout, switch out, switch on the parts, and like a pencil on the top my helix, you can draw in the air. Also, you can download here from my homepage. Yes, the interactivity, it's a very important thing. I think it's a play possibility. I give terminals, and with terminals, the audience can play, can be interactive. This exhibition was in Austria, in Linz, and this exhibition was curated also by Kristóf. Ars Electronica, it's the biggest festival for art, for philosophy, and technique in Europe. You can see I play with mobile, and here Kristóf helped me and make pictures about the wall, and here is Zoltán. He made the program from GeoGebra. And a bigger exhibition was from me. It's Nexus in Hungarian Fine Arts Museum. It was hanging two big sculptures like marionettes, and these marionettes will be removed and led by the audience, and they would lay with them some picture about mechanical, and the height was here really big in the hall, 25 meter, and from we turned hanging. And at the opening ceremony was some dancer on it, and I tried to show how can the technology with the human artist, but the technology is running, and I use also sometimes the industrial robots for my exhibitions and presentation, but not a simple engine, not a simple worker. I put two glass sculpture, and was very interesting. The traditional optical situation, you can see the black shadow, but it was a transparent clear glass sculptures, but with different shadows, mirror situation. It was coming a very nice projected moving a show. The second sculpture was spherical with many little lamps, and these lamps multiplied the original light, and sometimes you can see the yellow and blue colors. It was built in the sculptures. At least you can see here the clear transparent columns, and this project was 2 years ago started. At about my last exhibition, here was many different sculpture exhibit from a simple hand moved sculptures till during automatically moving sculptures till the interactive, and some animation was there also, and projected video. This glue cylinder is like was exhibited in Linz in Ars Electronica, and the title was Or Artificial Emotions, uh, because the artificial intelligence is so high and is a position what about we can speak about the emotion of robots, emotion of mechanism too, but we can speak also about the human emotion. We sometimes we tell false, not the true, and our behavior is also a little bit artificial. Our emotions is artificial, and these on this exhibition I use, for example, this flag, a simple flag, but is moved by automatically and also interactive. It's called twist, waved, short the time, and I finish my presentation and I give the possibility for Kristóf. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Antal Kelle, for this wonderful talk. It was a great pleasure to take a journey into your audio-visual empire, into your wonderful world, and actually. Those who watched your presentation, I think, could understand that how your art could also give tremendous inspiration for education. And when we have these transformation in education going on globally, including India. I just learned that you are introducing a new curriculum in India. We could hear also in your presentation, we could learn from your artworks also these key concepts, what concerning flexibility, adaptability, and also relationship to technology and engagement into various fields of learning, and also how the shapes, the forms around us could also give us new inspiration, new learning, new understanding, not only about our physical world, but also about our mental world and or relationship to both to our physical and mental environment around us. So I thought that following your presentation, what you made about your very rich art language, what you unfolded us here, I would like to continue towards these lines of collective creativity, collaboration, and innovation, and also problem solving. But in the same time, when I saying problem solving, I also want to bring in ideation, that bringing new ideas and watching how these new ideas are born in front of our eyes as discoveries. And as Anahita Suri very kindly introduced us, so I don't need to repeat it. I work in the Finnish Institute for Education Research, and I'm researching STEAM. In addition, that I have the honor and pleasure to create Antal Kelle's exhibitions, sometimes in various spots around the globe. So that's a great mission for me, and that's also very nicely complement, I think, all these activities. And there are a few books which I would like to recommend to you if you want to get to know more about this research background, which also has many connections to design. So how this reconfiguration in education is taking place today, and why science and art and creativities matter than any time more before when we are facing global challenges. Okay, I don't need to talk deeply about the situation where we are, the COVID-19 pandemic, but also that how sustainability, how sustainable development and technological development will go hand in hand or not in the future. That's also depending on us. And as Antal's presentation could also represent that how this aesthetics of interdisciplinarity and transdisciplinarity, how these connections between engineering, design, and art and aesthetics could transform our thinking and prepare us to facing with these challenges. I think this has a very special role. And in the Finnish Institute of Educational Research, I'm working in the Innovative Learning Environments Research Group, where we are really focusing on all these connections, that how the physical and mental environment of learning could support students' well-being. And connect all of these little hubs all around the world, including India as well, where STEAM is brought forward, and STEAM is important. And actually, when I referred to these global challenges, what we learn, I think, from the pandemic, we learn many things, but let's see what we can bring forth after this nightmare will be over. But anyway, we are experiencing uncertainty in a very deep level in all of our minutes today. And actually, I want to refer that 20th century science also introduced uncertainty on a very specific way. You can see many theorems and many discoveries which also affected our epistemological relation to the world. And when we thought for many centuries, many decades, that science is about certainty, we should also understand nowadays that it's also about facing with the uncertainties. But when we are doing that, it's very important to recognize that there are many kind of uncertainties. There is the psychological uncertainty, which force to have doubts even in science, but there is also the epistemological uncertainty, which is really the part of the current way as we see the role of science, that we want to have better and better questions, and we want to have better and better approaches. And I think this is very natural for design, for designers to present solutions as also which leads to new questions, and also this unpredictability factor and this flexibility factor and adaptability factor, that you not necessarily see the user, the one who will apply your design, but you need to predict these situations. I think this is very natural for design thinking. So I want to argue that we need more design thinking in schools, and STEAM can be a good approach probably to induce these processes. And this is also very natural when we think about these current pedagogies, which are also coming forth in India by the new curriculum for sure. So inquiry-based learning, discovery-oriented, experience-oriented, and playful learning, these are all also belong to these concepts what we are thinking of when we are talking about playing around design and toying with design. So how these toys could be engaging and also clever and smart enough to prepare us for these challenges. And we can see that this is also a very natural connection in these pedagogies. But it's always important to remember this different types of uncertainties, and don't fall a victim to the psychological uncertainty, but see this as an opportunity to also examine questions and also to bring in new ideas. And this is what design and design thinking and design pedagogy could and already provide very effectively, efficiently for any kind of educational reform what is taking place right here, right now. And when we are thinking about this, we were established also with a great support from Antal as an artist. He was never tired to support the birth of this art and science and education community, this experience workshop, where we really try to induce collaborative creativity, this collective creativity for students and teachers' well-being, and also to face and look at the real phenomenon around us. So when I say this, I mean, for example, nature and those kind of shapes, what you can take into your hand, and those kind of processes, what you can find in the outside world, and how to make this part, real life part of learning, everyday learning in any kind of classroom. And when I'm talking about communities, I need to mention the Bridges community, which is the world's largest mathematics and art community. Antal's art has been recognized several times by several scientists as well. So that's also an important to mention, that you can say a lot of examples that how science inspire design and art, but maybe you can say a little bit fewer examples that how art or even design can inspire new scientific discoveries. So exactly this is happening in Antal's case, in Kelle Antal's case, that his approach also introduced new ways of thinking in engineering problems, linkages, and also mathematical problems connected to several theorems and also many aspects. And this pandemic situation also brought the advent of this kind of massive online event with the help of two of my Indian colleagues who are living in Finland. We managed to launch this UNESCO Creativity and Innovation Days in Finland too, with the support of UNESCO. So we are all trying to bring forward these ideas together with Haram Kulkarni and Shirin Kulkarni. But also in Korea, we have an ongoing monthly STEAM seminar where I would like to invite you, so you can find on the social media this online STEAM seminar. I will give you also my contact, and where we all try to bring forward this competence and skill based learning. And it is so much also in the Finnish national core curriculum, very similarly to your new curriculum, to the new Indian curriculum. And you can see that these transversal goals like participation, involvement in building a sustainable future. So United Nations Sustainability Development Goals is really at the core of the Finnish curriculum. And as I saw and as I heard, it will be also an important part in the Indian curriculum. And STEAM for us is definitely not a method, not one single method. It's first of all not a method, but I would rather call it as a policy, but it's more an opportunity to search for a method. So integration always gives you the possibility to redesign, to reconfigure, and this design process also in the pedagogical level and the didactic level can introduce this new configuration of subject-based learning and also this real-life phenomenon-based learning. And to illustrate this with one project, so together with several researchers, you can find their name and affiliations on the screen. We are connecting, for example, 3D printing and digital fabrication, GeoGebra, with architectural approaches to bring forward these competence development goals in this context, and real-world scenarios, experiential learning through this bringing in this new type of embodiment, new type of physicality, which 3D printing, this instant process of having 3D objects in your hand, what it can provide to the classroom. This is our question here. And surprisingly, we also can go back to the most ancient forms of recreating, redesigning our physical environment, which was happened in ancient architecture, and we still sort of admire these wonderful architectural results already from the ancient ages. I shouldn't explain it to you in India, but also with our Egyptian colleague, we have this wonderful project of reprinting in the classroom this ancient Egyptian temple, this Dendera temple, and also recreating it with AR. And this is already in augmented reality, and this is already in the hand of the children. So actually, secondary school children are redesigning this architecture, and also creating the AR with the help of GeoGebra, which also was part of Antal's presentation. And similarly, in South Korea, this most ancient astronomical architecture all over the world, this is one of the most ancient observational tower. This can be also recreated as a very interesting learning process in a primary and secondary school classroom, and this gives very exciting opportunities. But also, what if your student would actually design objects and also redesign those kind of games, what they can play for develop their logical thinking, their computational thinking. So this is exactly happening in another project with the Hungarian design tool, toy, called Logi Faces. And you can see that how these prisms and semi-prisms, which are the constituent of these games where you can create surfaces, need to be studied by the students to be able to reprint it with the 3D printer and create their own sets in their classroom. And also, when we think about this embodied way of learning, what is enhanced by this 3D printing opportunity, which is of course a very exciting opportunity for the children, because they can create endless amount of toys. This is what they want. They want to create immediately those toys which they were always dreamed about. And the next stage would be to design their own toys and bringing these many toys into the classroom. This is an absolute fantastic opportunity, and also a great motivation that the students need to agree and understand the logic of these tools, and also the geometrical setting to be able to redesign them. So there are many layers of learning here, but also based on this path, this embodiment and embodied learning. So even the human body can be rediscovered through these games, what you can play, these physical games on the new way. So I think design has huge opportunities, huge horizons opening up here. And when we can see this active role and the sense of autonomy of the learner in this kind of projects, and how this individual and collaborative problem solving and ideation is in all time in the flow, and also the peer coaching, that how students can support each other and how teachers can support each other to make these projects possible. This is really an important opportunity. And this is also very natural for Finland, and it is very natural for India. I should say that this collaboration between the teachers, because when we are thinking about STEAM, of course, we cannot expect that all teachers will be equally educated and equally innovative in all fields of science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, what constitutes this holistic STEAM idea. But we can say that in teacher communities, they have this collective capacity to be this collective Leonardo da Vinci's, or you can also say figures from the Indian art history who were just like that, these multi-talents and polymaths. And when we think about this, we can also change our thinking about creativity, because we used to say creativity is everywhere, and we used to use this word creativity as a singular noun. But I think it's time to talk about creativities and many kind of creativities, and we start to challenge our school. That is, our school is broad enough and open enough to be able to appreciate many kind of creativities. And in Finland, this means also that there is an important change from this hierarchic model of leadership to this collaborative model of leadership. So you can see that we are here in Finland, where actually all these actors of the scene are more like a more like a network operating, and also their different kind of questions, expertise are sort of adding up during the process. So we like to talk about creative ecologies, that how this school environment influenced by design as a physical design, but also design thinking, can become like a creative ecology where all these parts are support each other, and where these multiple and diverse creativities could unfold during these learning processes. So we try to support teachers also in that, to make opportunities for them. We don't want to teach the teachers necessarily. Teacher development is not necessarily about giving new thoughts or giving new theorems, but it's more to giving the opportunity that they think together, they have time together to think how to change, how to make change, and start new projects. And also these workshops, these physical workshops, which also were affected by COVID-19. And of course, we've started to think about also virus aesthetics and as an opportunity for learning how this COVID-19 structure as a virus, as a structure, can teach us something and also give us new understanding. So not to mention virus design, but something like that. And also in the same time, how the computational thinking can be introduced also in those kind of protocols what need to be followed in this pandemic situation. So you can find all these new opportunities, but also the students who are very active with the 3D printing. Craftbot supported us in this project, that they modeled new masks, and this was a geometrical modeling. So you can find all these projects, and also to go to Finland, you even have the opportunity to build the world's largest ice dome. But of course, there is no ice everywhere. So this was a fantastic project by Arno Pronk. I had the pleasure and the honor to participate in this project as an educational coordinator in this project. So we built the world's largest ice dome, but we also wanted that children are not just admire this structure, but also have the geometrical understanding and the problem solving opportunity in this. So you can see all these pictures, and also you can see these snapshots of this problem-solving process, what the children needed to go through to find the solution, and also the GeoGebra opportunities. And to speed up, because I have only 1.5 minutes left, so I would like to invite you to our tomorrow's workshop, workshop in the same time like today with a great number of colleagues from Cambridge University, from South Africa, from the Nelson Mandela University, and also the Open Design Festival from Cape Town will be with us. Sunes Tassen, they will lead this workshop, and also Heram Ben Shirin Kulkarni, and we will have the opportunity to study mathematical artworks created by South African children, so coming from this context, and we will see that how we can toy around these beautiful artworks by South African children, and we will find out how to implement these kind of contributions also in design thinking and introducing design-based methods and approaches in everyday classrooms. So with these pictures, I would like to say thank you for your attention. It was a great honor for me to be together with Antal Kelle in this beautiful festival, and I really looking forward to welcome you tomorrow in the same time in our workshop. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you, Anahita Suri, for chairing our session. Thank you a lot.
Thank you so much, Antal and Kristóf, for that wonderful session. Unfortunately, we're coming up for time, but I would still like to take one question from the audience. So if you could elaborate on the role of STEAM for educators and how that can help us teach better.
This question is for me or for both of us?
For Kristóf.
Okay. Can you repeat this?
If you could elaborate on the role of STEAM for educators, yes, and how that can help us improve our teaching methods.
Yes, I think STEAM is a real opportunity to collaborate and to induce collective creativity also among teachers and also among students.
Well, very quick and rightly said.
Yes, so, just as you asked. Yes.
Antal, your designs of movement and dimension of tactile reality are inspiring. And Kristóf, your insights on experiential learning and the role of art and creativity in education is universally relevant and applicable. For both of you, the interdisciplinary nature of your work and experiences has given us food for thought and a way forward for a phenomena-based learning. I thank you both, Antal and Kristóf, for being a part of the Ahmedabad Design Week 2.0 and sharing your experiences and insights with us. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you a lot.
Bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.